Welcome to the Becks, a podcast that explores multimedia horror with hosts Becky and Sydney. Join us as we talk about movies, books, video games, music, and much, much more.
Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks. Welcome back.
Hello, hello.
So, you guys voted. And we are talking about The Ritual by Adam Nevill. I read the book.
I watched the movie like 3 times. Well, kind of. Not fully 3 times, but multiple times.
So we're gonna compare and contrast here. So the book came out in 2011, and then in 2017 it was adapted into the movie.
I think it actually premiered in 2018, from what I read. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I think it was greenlit in 2017. I think that's what I read.
Yeah.
Which is pretty quick, but it won awards and was critically acclaimed. People really love this book.
It's a crazy movie.
And full disclosure, I did see the movie when it first came out. I saw it on Netflix in, I think, 2018 or 2019. But it's been years now, and I don't really remember anything. Bare bones.
Bare bones. She remembers bare bones.
I remember the thing. I remember the creature.
The creature?
Yes.
Well, that's hard to forget.
Yeah.
Once you see it once.
It's fucking so creepy.
It's pretty disturbing.
So cool looking, though. It's a cool monster design. Okay, so let's talk about it. The plot: 4 college friends go on a hike.
Yes.
And get lost.
Yes. So in the movie, the reason they choose to go hiking is there's 5 of them. And yeah, there's 5 of them. They're in a bar. And this is the opening scene. They're in a bar and they are drinking and talking about where they're going to go for this year's trip. And they're talking about Amsterdam and here and there and wherever. And the one friend's like, I think we should go hiking. And they're like, are you serious? Hiking? Why would we go hiking? He's like, get out in nature, blah, blah, blah. So they're discussing it. And they leave the bar. And the one friend decides he wants to go in and get a bottle of wine. He's going to get some more to drink. And nobody wants to go into the store with him. But he talks, the one guy's like, well, I'll go with you. And so they go in together. Mm-hmm. And that guy grabs his bottle of wine. And they look over and they see the cashier on the ground, like behind the counter, beaten. And she's bleeding. And then these 2 robbers come out of the back room and start demanding that the one friend that offered to go into the store with him, they wanted his money and his wallet and whatever else he had. Meanwhile...
Who was it? Who were the 2 that went into the store?
They were...
Because there was never 5. There were never 5? There were never 5.
Really?
So that's where that's why I gave you this weird look, because I don't remember that.
Okay, so the 5 friends are Luke, Phil, Hutch, Dom, and Robert.
Oh, Robert.
The 2 that go into the store are Luke and Robert.
Okay, yeah. I knew I had to have been the extra one that went into the store, because he was the spare.
Yeah. So he literally is standing there and they're asking him to give him his wallet. He gives them his wallet and the money he has. Meanwhile, Luke is hiding at the end of the aisle, peeking around to see what's happening. He's literally hiding. Mm-hmm. And they ask Robert to give him his wedding ring. And he said no. He goes, you've taken everything from me. Please, it's my wedding ring. And so they slashed his face. And he fell on the ground. And Luke is still just peeking around the corner, not helping his friend, not even trying. And then they chopped Robert and cut his head and killed him.
What?
Dead.
That's insane to me, because usually most robbers are
Well, the one starts screaming, "What are you doing? What the?" So there was one bad guy that was just like, "I'm going to kill and take whatever I want."
Okay.
And the other guy was like, "What are you doing, man? Because now you're, a murderer, not just a robber."
Yeah, armed robbery is its own thing, but yeah, okay.
But murder's another. So, yeah, so that's what happened. So then 6 months later.
So was Robert the one who wanted to go hiking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It all makes sense now.
Yes.
Okay.
So 6 months later, the four friends that are left go hiking where Robert had said he wanted to go. And I'm mad because I wrote down the name of the trail and I forgot to bring it up here with me. But so that's where they were. The next scene is literally, it was Luke waking up. He was actually having the dream of what happened. He was dreaming about what happened and he wakes up in a tent.
Okay.
And they're in a valley in the mountains.
Uh-huh.
And that's how it starts.
Okay.
And then they get out and they talk and they climb a hill and they make a little shrine to Robert.
That's really nice.
Yes.
That's
it's
so
super
much
nice.
I mean, not that the tragic thing that happened.
No, but yeah, so they did that because that's where he wanted to be. So they did a toast to him and the Hutch said, it shouldn't have happened because Dom gets really mad. Dom's mad. He's blaming Luke. From the beginning, you can tell.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he says something about it shouldn't have happened. And Hutch is like, it shouldn't have happened, but it did. And all we can do is, pay him respect and do what we should.
So in this movie, was Luke kind of always the odd man out? Was he kind of alienated from the other three?
Well, a little bit because
of what
I think
happened?
they all blamed him.
Okay.
Yes. Even though there's times where they all act like, okay, he's, our friend, whatever, but you can see kind of some animosity. Not from everybody. I believe it was Hutch that tells him at one point, I never blamed you. I never blamed you. But Dom is very angry. He 100% blames him. He's like, you came out, not a drop of blood on you. He literally was stabbed
Butchered.
and cut to death, and you didn't have a single drop of blood on you. Where were you?
Gotcha.
And so, I guess when you're five friends that have been friends forever, you kind of wonder you didn't even try to protect him or help him or so.
Yeah.
So he's kind of... And I think he alienates himself in his mind, too, because he has a lot of flashbacks to what happened. And that's a lot of guilt and pain that he carries with him.
Well, so that's hard because if you're scared for your life, self-preservation is one of the most strongest instincts that humans have.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can't say how I would react. I would like to say I would 100% protect my best friend. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd be like, no, I'm out. Let's go. I'm running.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know till you're in that situation, and hopefully no one ever has to be in that situation, but it happens all the time.
So that's immediately a departure from the book.
Okay.
It's just four friends.
There never was a fifth.
Correct. Dom, Hutch, Phil, and Luke. Mm-hmm. And they decide this time to go hiking because Luke is poor and it's the only excursion that he can afford.
Ah, okay. So that makes him the outsider, obviously.
He's the only one who's not married. He's the only one who doesn't have kids. He's the only one who doesn't have like a career. Like he works at he sells records at like a CD shop in London. So he's kind of he's not only just like the outsider, but he's like the least adult of all four of them. Okay. So Dom especially is super condescending towards Luke and, is always just like, well, why don't you get a real job? And, so it's very superficial. Like these people in this book don't like each other.
Yeah.
It's weird because I feel like I remember vaguely in the movie, I was like, okay, I understand why these people are friends or were friends. Whereas in this book, and it's obviously we only get, at this point in time, there's no flashbacks or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Of them having good times or whatever. But it's just, none of them seem to have anything in common. Hutch and Luke are both the most physically fit. Phil and Dom are, fat.
Oh, see, they're not. I mean, Dom's not fat, but he's definitely the one, the weaker link. What happens, why they end up going through the woods in the movie is they're walking and it's starting to rain, and they're talking about after they did their whole little thing for Robert, they're standing there and it's getting dark and they can see the lodge lit up in the distance where they're staying, and they're in Sweden. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, it should take us about this long, blah, blah, blah. And they sleep or whatever. I don't remember. But they take off and it starts to rain some. And Dom, steps in a hole and hurts his knee. Mm-hmm. So then that's why they decide to take a shorter trip. If they go through the forest, they can get there quicker. Yeah. It's a straight shot rather than going down and around and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going through a strange forest. I'm not, so don't ever ask me to.
I wouldn't. My sense of direction is hilariously terrible.
Well, I've been lost in a forest already once this year. I'm good. I will not do it again.
So in the book, Phil develops blisters on his feet, and then Dom ends up twisting his knee.
Oh, okay.
So they are both injured in some capacity, and Luke is really angry about this because he even is talking, and this is me. I'm not a hiker, Mm-hmm. So in the book they were talking, Luke and Hutch were talking, and Luke is like, all we asked of them is 10 miles a day, for fuck's sake. It's not that much. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I was like, that sounds like a lot to me. But again, Hutch and Luke are, they go to the gym and, they're kind of the more active people.
Well, see, Hutch and Luke do talk about Dom when he gets hurt there, because Hutch wants to go through the woods. He's got this plan. And Luke is like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's a great idea. Probably shouldn't be. And he's
it's the same in the book.
You are going to listen to Dom complain the whole way. And he's like, I don't even think he's in pain. He's like, well, to him, it's going to be 1,000 times. They totally are dissing on their friend. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they decide.
It's like that.
Go through the woods.
Yeah, it's like that in the book too. Okay. And Luke immediately has bad vibes about it. He doesn't. He doesn't want to go.
Well, they get into the woods, and they're not very far in the woods when they see a moose that's been gutted hanging way up in a tree.
Yes.
So I'd have turned around.
Yeah.
I would not have been like, oh, wonder who did that, and keep going. They totally were like, oh, huh.
So
wonder what could have done that.
Yeah, okay, I was just going to ask, did they actually have a discussion about, okay, so what happens is they hike into the woods, and very shortly after they get into these woods, they find an animal up in the tree. It's like a moose or a deer or something.
This one's a moose.
Okay. I don't remember I think they said it was an elk, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, maybe this was an elk. I don't know. It was a big animal.
Yeah. And it is disemboweled and hung decoratively in a tree.
Yes. That's exactly what shows in the movie.
Yeah. It's like it was arranged.
Yes.
Very gruesome and fucked up. And in the book, they are doing circles around each other, trying to think of a plausible explanation that isn't a crazy, fucked up murder.
Yeah, they don't have a big conversation. They're just oh, someone, crazy hunter did that or something. They're just totally I don't know. If I was with a group of my friends and we walked into the woods, not very far, I can still see the fields, right, that I just came out of, and I see that, I am booking my ass back.
But yeah, it's such an omen.
Yeah. I don't know how anyone in there, but I guess we wouldn't have a movie if they didn't do it. So, so then they keep walking, and then it starts to torrentially downpour, and it's dark, and they can't And they're like, we can't stay out here. We should pitch the tents. And they're like, oh, like the tents are going to help us, blah, blah, blah. And then they see the house.
Yep. It's an abandoned shack.
Yeah. And they notice symbols carved into the trees.
Yep.
And weird things happening. And they just go in there.
Yeah. It's filled with bones and different artifacts and like...
The cabin.
Yeah. And they get... So Luke, in the book, is adamant about how he does not want to fucking step foot in this cabin. He's like, no, this is... I don't think he says outright that he's freaked out by it, but he's just like... In the book, I remember now, he's like, we don't need to be trespassing. Like, he's really concerned about getting charged with trespassing, but that's the excuse he uses because in reality, he's getting super bad vibes. Mm-hmm. And
see, Dom's the one that doesn't really want to stay there. It kind of creeps him out.
See, in the novel, Dom is the one who tells Luke to basically shut the fuck up. Like, he wants to get warm.
So... Yeah, then they go upstairs before they go to sleep, and they find the torso, the decapitated human-shaped twiggy thing with antlers for hands. And, I mean, it's terrifying looking.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping in that fucking place. Oh, sorry.
She said the fuck word.
I'm not sleeping in that place at all. And then they just go back downstairs like, that's creepy. What is it? I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody's been here in a long time. I'm like, how could you go to sleep? And then it starts. Then they all have crazy, weird nightmares.
Yeah, so...
Luke, his nightmares are about Robert. The whole death, and like he's there and he's seeing it again, and he's laying there all bloody in the cabin and this and that, and
everyone has nightmares about being hunted by something in the woods.
Yeah.
And in the book there's perspective change. So the entire time the book is told from Luke's perspective. He's the one that we are getting all the information from. But when the characters have these dreams, it changes to second person perspective. Do you know what that is? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's like you're running, you are doing this, you are doing that, this is happening to you, and it is so fucking creepy and effective.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
And it's because it's really effectively putting you in the shoes of the characters in the book. And obviously when Luke wakes up, it's back to, Luke is, freaked out because he had a bad dream.
Yeah.
Whatever. But for that section, and there's quite a few of these dream sections that happen. Because I think they're in the woods for like 5 or so nights.
See, they don't tell you about the dreams. Like, the only dream you see is Luke's. Mm-hmm. And then... he wakes up because he hears people screaming. He hears Dom screaming his wife's name. Uh-huh. He hears Phil screaming upstairs. And he finds Hutch has peed himself. Like, he's just freaked out and he's pissed himself and doesn't know why. But Phil is upstairs naked praying to the thing.
That's almost exactly how it happens in the novel.
And... Dom doesn't really say. They ask him, what they start having a conversation out in the woods about, well, what did you see in your nightmare? What did you dream? And they're like, I don't want to talk about this. Hutch is like, I literally pissed myself. It's not something I want to talk about. And they start getting angry because they're trying to get out through this like side trail that Hutch had, I think it was Hutch had found. And Luke sees something in the woods and he's like, I see something big, we shouldn't go this way. And Dom's like, you're nuts, blah blah. They're yelling at each other, and Luke looks at him and says, we wouldn't even be in the woods if it wasn't for you. And that's when Dom looks at him and says, no, we wouldn't be in the woods if it wasn't for you. We wouldn't even be here if you hadn't done this.
Like, that isn't what Robert wanted them to do.
Right.
Like, Robert would have been there with him if he hadn't died, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so that's when Dom's like, you were a coward. You didn't even try to protect your friend, blah, blah, blah. And so then, of course, Luke is like, what's happening?
To get into a physical altercation when that happened? No?
No.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so no, they just argue and then they continue on and they find a old abandoned like VW bus just sitting out covered with twigs and stuff. And they're like, why is that out here? I mean, like, it's in the middle of, nowhere. And I'm like, how did it even get there, guys? And then they find a wallet and a backpack in a tent that's been grown over with twigs and foliage and all that.
Okay.
And the credit card in the wallet expired in 1984.
Oh. Mm-hmm. That's a deep cut.
So everybody's like, this is a bad sign. We should probably go. And Hutch is like, no, we're fine. And so they keep going.
That's crazy to me because they literally just came across a fucking crime scene. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where my mind goes.
Well, yeah, someone's missing. I mean, their wallet's there, their tent's there,
feasibly, it could have been abandoned. But why would you leave all that equipment and your wallet and your credit cards and all that stuff? So, I don't know about that. Do they find a church?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about this. So everything happens in the cabin pretty much the way it happens in the movie. It sounds like they leave the next day, and they find this church, and it's abandoned. It's overgrown. It's been desecrated. Like it's been like repurposed with a lot of pagan symbols and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the church is so old that like when they're going through and walking on the floorboards, it's rotten. And Hutch actually falls through the floorboard, and he has to climb out. He almost gets hurt, like pretty bad. And Luke and Hutch are the ones that are exploring it when this happens, and there was like some animal bones and skulls and stuff on the altar, like where they would put like a Bible or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's been totally like repurposed. When they're inside the church, they hear yelling, and Luke leaves, and this is when Hutch falls through, so he can't like get out as fast as Luke can. And Phil is outside, and he's freaking the fuck out because he had seen something in the woods. Mm-hmm. And he didn't know what it was, but Hutch comes out, and he's like pale and shaking, and everyone's like, what's wrong? And he's like, the hole that I fell in is full of human bones.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, and a lot of them are old, but some of them aren't that old. And it's not just like adult bones, it's like children's bones.
Oh, yeah. See, no, none of that happened.
Yeah.
No. They're walking, and then they decide to pitch their tents again. So they pitch their tents, and of course, Luke is dreaming about Robert again, only it's a really intense, terrifying, like he's out in the woods and he finds him laying there bleeding and he's staring at him, but he sees the creature in his dream, and then he wakes up startled and he hears Phil screaming, and he goes out and Phil's like, and he's like, what? And he's like, look. And they look over, and Hutch's tent is like collapsed, and he's gone. So Phil's screaming because he saw, I saw something took him, blah, blah, blah. So they have to wake Dom up because he's like sleeping through this whole screaming thing.
Damn, okay.
And they get Dom out, and all of a sudden you can hear Hutch screaming in the distance. Mm-hmm. So Luke takes off through the woods. Dom takes off after him. He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I have to find him. Do you hear him screaming? Do you hear how horrible that is? He goes, we're going to get turned around. We're going to get lost. We have to backtrack. He said, it's not going to do us any good if we are out here. And so they go back, and they wait till daylight, and then they start walking. The three of them. Hutch never comes back. Mm-hmm. And as they're walking, they stop. And they're like, oh. And Luke puts his head down. He's like, oh, my God. Oh, no. And Dom's like, oh my God, is that Hutch? And Phil starts wailing because in the tree, just like earlier when they saw the moose or elk or whatever it was in the tree, there's Hutch hanging from the tree disemboweled.
Yep.
So they take him down. Dom's insisting that they take him with them because they can't leave him there. He's got a wife. They can't leave him. He's like, we can't take him. We have to get out of here now. And so they cover him with twigs and they start walking.
Yeah, that's the horrible thing, because you want to be able to take your
friend, for
your
sure.
friend home, but dead weight is insane. It's
You gotta
so,
go.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so
obviously,
heavy.
and that's when they realize. That's when Dom's like, it was whatever was in that house. It followed us. It's hunting us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they, and Luke is like, no, it's not. We're gonna be fine. Blah blah blah. And so they're walking. He's like, we're gonna go the way Hutch said we needed to go. We're gonna get there. And so they take off walking again, and they get to a spot where Phil and Dom want to rest. And Luke walks up just like this little hill. It's not much of a hill. And they're like, where are you going? He's like, I'm just going to check. And he's like, I can see the end, guys. I can see we're almost there. He's all excited. And he turns around and he's like, guys? And all of a sudden you hear Phil screaming. And he goes running down and he watches the creature grab Phil. And his flashlight falls on the ground. And so he starts running around screaming, looking, and he finds Dom. And he's like, you're alive, you're alive, you're alive. And Dom's like, it's hunting us. And he's like, it's going to kill us. And he's like, I'm not going to let you die. It'll be the last thing I do to protect you. And yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So after the church, they leave and they set up their tents. And Dom makes this smart little comment to Luke. And like I said, Dom has been the one that has been kind of needling Luke the whole time. Worse than anybody else. And finally Luke is like, what the fuck is your problem with me? They have this huge fight where basically Dom calls him like a child and just someone who doesn't know what real responsibility is, and he's just a loser. And how Dom, Hutch, and Phil are all better than him because they have families, and it's just this whole knockout fight. And
Does that get physical?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
no.
Luke beats the shit out of Dom.
Really?
The absolute fuck out of him, okay? And it freaks Hutch and Phil out. That's how bad he wails into Dom. The friendship is dead.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You can't come back from that.
Yeah, and when Dom and Phil go to bed for the night, Hutch stays up and talks to Luke and is like, yeah, man, you need to cut Dom and Phil some slack. They wouldn't want me telling you this, but they're both getting divorces. And, Phil's wife isn't going to let him see his daughters anymore. She's suing for full custody or whatever, and it's this whole thing. And Luke ends up feeling pretty bad about the whole thing. Which I will say, Luke has, a serious issue with anger. And that's immediately made clear by the author from the get-go. He reveals to Hutch that he actually beat the shit out of a guy in the London Underground, in the subway, because he got on the train before Luke could get off.
Oh, boy.
He's like, yeah, I just beat the shit out of him. And Hutch is like,
The hell is wrong with you?
yeah, basically. And he's like, I just ran before the cops could come.
Oh, my.
So he beat the shit out of this guy, knocked him out, and then just ran.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So that night, and keep in mind, every single night that these people sleep, they have nightmares. And it's always about being hunted and being prey and the sound of bones cracking and blood gushing and, all this horrible, very visceral shit.
No, thanks.
And Luke wakes up because Hutch is screaming, and he gets taken out of his tent, and he's nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
And the next, because they all like are waiting around in shock, like they're waiting for him to come back.
Yeah.
And I was really upset about Hutch dying because genuinely he was the only character that was likable in this book. Like, Luke was the main character. Yeah. He's a fucking piece of shit. Okay.
Yeah. See, none of them were like that. They were just like Luke was a kind of a coward, but again, you don't know how you're gonna act when you're put in that situation of it's your life or.
Yeah, nobody in the book ran after Hutch.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
That was not a thing in the novel. Everyone was too scared.
No.
There's a lot of like pants wetting in this novel. Seriously, like it's brought up several times because.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, if you're being chased by something like that, or you're having the horrible nightmares, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they actually take off running after Phil's because they can hear the monster in the woods coming after them. So they're running, and it's dark because.
Does it make a noise? Like, does it bellow?
Yeah.
What does it sound like?
Well, I can play it for you.
Well, you use your.
I can't really. I mean, it's weird.
Try to use your own words because I just had the audiobook's own words on how it was described. So I'm just curious to how it sounded. Like, did it sound like an actual animal?
I mean, yeah, almost like a bear grunting. Weird. Now, I mean, it made grunting noises, but it also made like noises. I mean, it was weird.
Oh my gosh. There's this point. This is before Hutch gets grabbed, I think. It's weird because they go from being super scared to like having arguments about being losers who work in record stores. Like it was so weird to me. It's like you guys are being hunted by something and you're arguing about that right now. Mm-hmm. Priorities. Let's find them. But Luke talks about how he hears the bellow and it's like a cackle or like I think he uses a jackal. He refers to it as like almost a jackal laugh, but not quite. And he thinks that there's more than one at one point, but then he realized that it just moved so quickly that it sounded like it was answering its own call.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, none of that was brought up. The thing, Dom kept saying, it's people, it's people, it's people. And he did not believe
that it was like
Luke, that it was a giant monster. He's like, no, it's giant. And he's like, no, it's people. There's houses. It's people. And they did see, like, footprints in the riverbed, and they turned and went a different way. And Luke really thought he had them out of there when they left.
Were they fresh footprints?
Yeah.
Why would you not follow fresh footprints?
Because they looked creepy and they were afraid of who was hunting them.
Yeah, I guess if I thought it was a person. But if I thought it was a monster, guess what? I'd be going to other humans.
So they have the sounds that the monster's supposed to make, but this is not from the movie. I don't know what sound's going to come out of my phone. It wasn't that loud, but it was kind of like that. Yeah, it was like that. So it was like a growling.
Creepy. Oh, it is very creepy.
It is kind of, yeah.
If I heard that in the woods, guess what?
No, I'm pissing well, again, you walk in and you see a giant moose strung to a tree and you continue on. I'm not doing that either. No, thanks. Nope.
So, yeah, they leave the next day. They find Hutch. And Luke actually tries to shield Phil and Dom from seeing it. He sees it first because he's like taking point because obviously they're injured. Dom has his fucked up knee and Phil has blisters.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh God, don't look. But they look anyway and Phil loses it. Like he stops talking. Like he goes completely nonverbal. And eventually he disappears too. I don't remember how. So then Luke and Dom are the only ones left.
Yep, same there.
And they actually do make up. And they kind of have a couple of pretty touching moments, I would say, where you're like, damn, you know, like they may not be friends anymore, but there's no more bad blood, and they trust each other to look out for each other. But they're on like day 5 or 6 of being in the woods, and they're out of water, they're out of food, and they keep trying to sleep in shifts, but Dom's knee has gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. So he's in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
And this was pretty crazy, actually. At one point, the creature is like coming at them, like is gonna try to grab Luke or Dom, and Luke manages to hit it with a rock and hurts it. Like it makes a pained noise and it runs away. But it like lashes out at Luke, and it's very dark. They still don't know what this thing looks like. But it hits him with one of its like tree trunk arms, I think is how it's described.
Oh, tree trunk arms?
Because again, it's dark. He doesn't really...
I don't want anything hitting me with tree trunk arms.
Yeah. And it brains him good. Okay, he wakes up and he has a concussion and stuff. And Dom literally thought he was dead. Huh. And so now Luke is seriously injured. Because he has a fucking terrible head wound. And he's trying not to vomit. And
like none of this happened.
Yeah. And this is one of the creepiest parts of the books for me. They're walking, and they're both so exhausted and tired and injured and thirsty and hungry and cold and wet because it never stops raining, basically.
I'm so hot!
See, this is why we need to be recording us.
Right?
That was fucking
I probably
hilarious.
would not be like this.
It's hilarious. Okay, for the listeners that weren't able to witness what just happened, Becky took her overshirt off, so she just has like a tank top underneath it. It's like a flesh-toned thing. And we have a fan behind us because it's hot in here. She just leaned into the wind and closed her eyes in bliss. It was really funny. Okay, so anyway, back to the...
Yes, so...
The creepiest part of the book. So, they are walking single file, which is fucking stupid, because something is hunting them. Why would you not be holding hands? I'd be holding hands. I would not want to be separated, especially because it literally gets to the point where Luke admits that they used to, you know, check on each other, but now it's just like a slog. Like they're just trying to get through the woods.
Yeah.
And he makes a remark about how Dom's and his footsteps are in tandem at one point. Mm-hmm. And then there's no footsteps at all behind him.
Oh.
And he turns around and Dom's gone.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing. Like what happens in the movie. Nothing.
This is the thing. Okay. And I don't remember quite how it's done in the book, but the implication is that Dom was gone much longer and that the footsteps that were in tandem with her own was the monster.
Oh, that's creepy.
So creepy because he talks about how much Dom smells. Okay?
Oh.
And it's like this rotten meat smell. And again, like Luke's brain isn't working right. He has a concussion and he's tired and all of these things.
So he thinks it's Dom that's smelling, but
it's not Dom.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So creepy. I literally, like, this is the part of the book that I was telling Lauren about at work where I had to go around my house and, like, turn lights on.
Yeah,
because I got super paranoid. Like,
no, that's creepy.
It really was so super effectively done that I was just like,
Yeah.
I can't do this.
So, no, what happens is they are running after Phil disappears because they hear the monster in the woods. And they suddenly come upon, like, this path that has lights on it, you know, like little torches, like, burning. Oh. And so they're like, oh, okay, you honestly think after everything that's happening, everything you've seen, that this is the place to go? But they do. Now, I didn't tell you that when they were all first in the house, that Luke woke up, his nightmare, he ended up getting cut by, like, the people that were robbing the store in his nightmare, and he had actual cuts on his chest, like a mark.
Oh. Like it reopened?
Like, he didn't get hurt when he was in the store, but in the dream, he got marked by the robbers. Like, that's what he saw, but he was actually marked by something in real life
after.
in the cabin.
Okay.
He chose not to share that with everybody.
That's wild. That's a wild decision.
So he had gouge marks in his chest. I couldn't get it out. I had to sing it. He had gouge marks in his chest, and it was nasty.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're running. They see these lights, this lighted path. They go running because they can hear the monster coming after them. They fall into this cottage. And they're promptly knocked unconscious. Like, they see someone coming up behind them and they hit them in the head.
Okay.
Yep. And then they wake up in a basement.
So this is the hugest departure. So I just want you to run through what the end of the movie is.
Okay.
So keep going.
Okay. So they wake up in a basement. And there's this little old lady that comes in. They're talking. Like, they're talking about what's happening and, you know, what's going on. And it was people that were hunting us. And why are they doing this? And blah, blah, blah. So then these guys open the door and they let this little old lady, I mean, I'm talking like 4 feet tall little old lady. She's got big bushy hair and it looks like she's chewing gum. You know how old ladies will eat their food and they just chew for what seems like ever because they don't have teeth or whatever. So she's chewing like that and she walks up and she has a cup and she walks up to Luke and they're both chained up like at opposite sides of the room. And she gives Luke water. And she says something to him, but she's like chanting in some kind of, almost sounded like Native American, that she was chanting. Mm-hmm. And so she gives him water and she says a few things to him.
It was probably Norwegian.
And it could be. And then she walks over to, she opens Luke's shirt and sees the mark and then shows him a mark on her chest. And so then she walks over to Dom and she says something to him and she tells the two guys whatever and they grab Dom and take him out screaming. Mm-hmm. And you can hear him screaming the whole time.
Yikes.
And then they bring him back like quite a while later and he's all beat up and he's messed up. His face is just bleeding and he's all, you know, beaten. And he looks at Luke and he's like, I'm going to die here. He said, my nightmare was these people killing me, sacrificing me.
So that's why he was convinced. That's probably another reason why he was convinced that it was actually people and not a monster. Yeah. Was because of his nightmares.
Because he'd seen the nightmare. He knew it was going to happen.
Gotcha. Okay.
He said that these people were going to sacrifice him to the creature. And Luke's like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to let you die. This isn't going to happen. And he said to him, I'm going to die here. He said, I saw my wife and I was screaming for her. He goes, that's what happened in my nightmare. These people are going to kill me. And he said, I want you to live. I want you to get out of here. And I want you to live. I want you to burn this place to the fucking ground. And don't look back. You have to get out of here. And Luke's all, no. So then they come back to get Dom again. And they take him out. And they kind of tie him up. So he can't move. And he's looking out. He can hear the creature coming. They're all out there watching. But in the meantime, a woman comes in and is talking to Luke. And she tells him that that's their God, that the creature's their God. Mm-hmm. But that they don't say his name. And he said, because you're scared of him. Mm-hmm. And she said, no, we worship him. He takes away death. He takes away pain. There will be no more. The sacrifice will end tonight.
They gender the creature as a male?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And she said, we worship him. He's our God. And she said, your sacrifice will be over soon. And you will kneel and pray, or he will put you on the trees. And he's like, I'm not like you. And he said, why me? And she said, because your pain is great.
Mm-hmm.
And so he can hear Dom screaming. So she leaves and he actually gets loose. He had a knife in his sock. He'd been carrying a knife because earlier in the movie he said, I have a knife and there's only one of that thing and there's 3 of us. And yeah. So he gets loose and he ventures upstairs in the house. Well, when she came in, I'm sorry to backtrack. When she came in and she told him the whole story, Dom was already dead and he knew that. And he said, will you please take him down off the pole? And she said, we don't touch them. They're the sacrifices. They stay where he puts them.
Uh-huh.
And so he goes upstairs after he gets loose and he finds a whole bunch of mummified people.
Uh-huh.
Like worshipers.
Yeah.
And so he sets that all on fire.
What did their feet look like?
I don't remember if I saw their feet. I was too freaked out by their fucking face. I'm sorry, by their faces.
Okay, continue.
Their feet? Now I gotta go back and watch the movie and see if it shows their feet.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway, so he starts burning everything, which attracts Motor, or Mater, or I don't know how they pronounce it. It actually says it in there.
Okay, hang on. So they call it Motor,
Mm-hmm.
but they gender it he, him.
Mm-hmm.
That's so stupid. Mm-hmm. Continue.
Anyways, so he
Do they say what Motor means?
I don't believe so. But I can't remember. By this time, I'm traumatized because the whole monster is giant and gross. And
it's so creepy. It's so good.
Yeah, the whole thing is really creepy. So he finds a rifle. Because, they haven't shown a rifle in this whole movie. But he finds a rifle in this thing. And he goes down and kills one of the cult members. And then that really makes the creature mad.
Mm-hmm.
And so Luke shoots at it and leaves.
What, it just lets him go?
It pursues him. It keeps giving him hallucination of Robert's death. It forces him to his knees. He's breaking, but he strikes it with an axe. The axe that he stole from the guy that he shot. And runs towards the hill where he sees sunlight and goes out into an open field. And because the creature can't leave the forest, it screams at him very loudly, like we just heard on that. And then they just stare at each other. And it's over. It walks back into the woods and there you go.
Okay.
Now I'm interested because of things you've said.
So it's so funny to me what the movie took from the end of this book and what they didn't. But it's ultimately a good thing. Okay.
I thought the ending was pretty cool. I mean, he did fight back. He did get out. He is going to live like Dom told him to. He's going to move forward with his life and not hold on to all of that and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah.
Oh, I do want to say, too, before Dom gets taken, they do find Phil. And then once Dom's taken, Luke finds Dom.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they ever found Phil. He's just gone because then they were running and they ended up in the...
So in the book, it's implied that these things are being left for them to see on purpose.
Dom says that too.
Yeah.
They do say that. Are they doing this on purpose? They're doing this to warn us, to scare us. Mm-hmm. They're doing this. This is a setup. And Luke was like, it's fine. It is not.
So I remembered that there was a cult in the movie. So when I was listening to the book, I got the audiobook. I kept waiting for there to be people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And eventually they did show up. So after Dom disappears, Luke ends up collapsing. And before he passes out, he sees 2 people coming towards him. And he wakes up and he's in a bed.
Oh.
And at first he's like, oh, they're nursing me back to health. Like, I'm saved. Like, he has this great relief or whatever. The next time he wakes up, he realizes, like, oh, none of my injuries have been treated. I'm laying in my own piss. And he wakes up because there's this, like, really loud music.
Okay.
And, God, this is so stupid. I don't even want to talk about it.
I want you to.
Okay, so these 3 masked people come in. And they call themselves Loki, Fenris, and Sutra. And they are a black metal band. And they found him and decided to bring him back to this cabin that they're staying in. So they're this black metal band. They're called Blood Frenzy. And they make moonshine. And
what a totally absurd turn.
They ended up in these woods because they were running from the cops because Fenris killed a guy. And they're, like, so evil. Okay? Loki is, like, the leader. And he is kind of telling Luke that they wanted to come here because they're Vikings. They want to connect to the old gods. And that they're going to sacrifice Luke to Odin. And it's stupid. It was so absurd that I had to pause the book and, like, sit up because I was laying in bed. And I was like, okay. They're not even native to the area. And keeping in mind, too, in the movie, did you know that it was a creature before the creature was revealed?
Well, I mean, you could tell it was some kind of, either it was a big animal or it was some kind of creature. Yeah.
Okay, so it was never in doubt that it was.
There was a creature
could have been
doing,
people.
Yes, there were people there somewhere because of, like, the carvings and things like that. But the actual, like, Hutch disappearing and things like that, they knew that it was something big, and it couldn't have been people per se. Now, Dom kept thinking it was people. This is people, it's not something big. He didn't believe Luke at all. He thought, no, it's people. Which it was, and I don't know if they were native people. I think some of them were people that just happened to wander into the woods, and this creature made them submit, because it was either submit or die. Mm-hmm. And so then you start a following. Okay. You have to sacrifice to keep your God happy.
Okay. So besides the 3 band members, there's also an old woman, very tiny old woman, and she speaks no English, and she isn't related at all to the band.
Too bad.
But it's so dumb, okay? But she's, like, helping them. Like, she helps them hold Luke hostage.
Yeah.
And while he's staying in this room, Luke hears scuttling up in the attic. So he thinks there might be more people. He tries at one point to talk to the people that he thinks are in the attic, but they don't respond. So it's revealed that the band plans to kill him. And they take him outside, and that's when he sees Dom's body, actually. It's not before that. I think Luke still was hoping that Dom maybe had just gotten separated from him, but at this point it's clear that he was killed. And he's arranged, like all the other bodies, at the edge of this clearing that the cabin is in.
Okay.
So it's very, like, purposely put there.
Uh-huh.
And Luke is so mad at this point because he's just, like, multiple times at this portion of the book, he's just like, I hope I die soon. Like, this is terrible. Like, I'm over it. And at this point, he has, like, no self-preservation. So he's like, you guys are just stupid delinquents. Like, you're just children who are trying to be edgy, which...
So he's just trying to antagonize them so they'll kill him?
Yeah, but, I mean, also, he's kind of right.
Yeah, it kind of sounds that way.
Like, Fenris and Sutra are both super crazy. And they say and do things in the book that make it clear that they're both capable of killing people. But you never see that from Loki.
So is there a creature?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So So Loki gets mad because Luke is dissing them or whatever. And he's like, we'll fucking prove it to you, bitch. So they take him up to the attic. And the old woman is very mad about this. She does not want anybody in the attic. But she... lets it happen. And he sees these mummified things that they refer to as the Ancient Ones. And they are alive, though. Their eyes are blind and milky or whatever. And they look human. They're very small. They look human except for their feet. They have like hooves.
Oh, I think maybe these did. Oh.
So this really freaks him out. And they bathe him and prepare him for the sacrifice. They actually tie him like upside down on a cross.
Oh.
And he keeps screaming, and he's like, he's not screaming for terror. He's like,
yeah,
you guys fucking suck, like all this stuff. He talks about how, like Sutra is super ugly and fat, and like, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And the blood frenzy, they keep trying to get the old woman to summon the old god, the creature that was hunting them before, but she refuses to do it.
Okay.
Why? Who knows? So he gets taken down from the cross, and he wakes up in his room, but he's untied this time, and he realizes that his knife was returned to him. And he's like, oh, I think the old woman did it. So he ends up fighting... He ends up fighting them all. Like, he kills Fenris, he kills Loki, and he fights Sutra, but she ends up running off. Before he kills Loki, he asks him where his keys to his truck are. So
there's no vehicles here.
He can leave, yeah. And then, but he sees the old woman, she's outside now, and she's chanting. And she keeps saying something motor, all this thing. Mm-hmm. And this is why I asked about the gender of the creature, because motor translates to mother. So it's fucking stupid that in the movie I'm
going to have to check and make sure, because I may have misspoke. You get in the heat of the moment and you're listening to this weird woman say things, so I'll check here once you're done.
So yeah, she's singing in Swedish, and she's summoning the creature that she calls motor, which is the word for mother. And Luke then realizes that she was using him to get rid of blood frenzy.
Oh.
And that he's still going to be the fucking sacrifice.
Oh.
So he shoots her, and then when she dies and falls over, he sees like her dress that was really long. It like lifts up, and he sees that she has goat legs too. So she's also of like the same line of people as the Ancient Ones that were in the attic, which he burns down that house when he leaves. So then he hears Motor is totally enraged. He hears Sutra die, and he in the book it's described as a goat-like creature, but it has human arms. So it's a giant goat creature with giant human arms and monster teeth. And
oh, it's not hot at all.
I think it's cooler in the movie. So he's driving and he's trying to get away, but the truck has like no gas and he doesn't really think he's going to make it. And the creature puts Sutra's body in the cab of the truck and like makes it to where it's staring at him. Like the body of Sutra is staring at him. It's very unsettling.
That's super creepy.
And he ends up, the creature tears apart the truck trying to get to Luke, but Luke actually stabs her in the throat before he's able to drive off. It doesn't kill her. But she kind of runs away at that point because she just got stabbed in the throat. Like she kind of like the truck crashed into her, the front of it, and so he was able to stab at her neck with.
Oh, okay.
You know, so he gets out of the truck because it's useless at that point, and he's staggering through the forest, and he's being haunted by these white ghostly figures that he calls Motor's white children. But he gets out of the forest and onto this rocky plain, and the ghostly white figures are left at the border of the forest. And he's kind of delirious, but he just kind of remarks about how like it's fine that he works in a record store because life is worth living or whatever.
Okay.
And that's how the book ends.
Huh. Interesting.
So strange. I literally cannot believe that there wasn't really, I mean, there was a cult. This lady was the only one left, basically. But like it talks about, Loki and Luke talk about how Loki talks to Luke about how Loki believes that they were both drawn to the forest. They were being called by the creature, who Loki refers to as Odin, which is not correct. And that's why they all ended up there. But it's just stupid. It's really dumb.
It's quite a change from what you're going through to get there, and then it's...
Yeah, because, again, 70% of this book is them being fucking terrorized in the woods. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, this teenage metal band called Blood Frenzy, who makes moonshine, is trying to sacrifice him to Odin.
That's weird.
It's really dumb.
We're going to listen to this part. Maybe she did just say, we worship it. Maybe they did not say him.
Oh,
I can't. It won't give me the actual scene. Dang it. I can watch it downstairs, but I can't pull it up on my phone.
That's fine.
So maybe I was wrong. It may be just they didn't reveal its gender.
So this is what I meant when I was like, oh, the movie writers seem like they made smarter choices. I think the inclusion of this fifth friend was also very smart.
Yeah.
Because again, none of the characters except Hutch are likable, whereas I feel like having that fifth friend, first of all, it establishes an immediate connection between the four that are left.
Yeah.
But it also adds depth to like what they're going through in the forest, being lost and all that.
And it started out with them all out drinking, having a good time. Their friendship was there. And then the death of the one put that wrench in the middle of it because of everything that happened. So, yeah. And it makes sense on why he ended up being the one, because his pain was the greatest, because he did feel the greatest. I mean, I can't say his pain was the greatest, but he was so tortured by the guilt that he was carrying for not trying to protect his friend, that I think that's where this creature latched onto was his weakness.
Yeah.
That's why he was going to be the one to bow down to him and accept him as his god, because he wouldn't want to hurt anymore.
Yeah. But also, I feel like it would have been narratively more satisfying if Luke had been able to save Dom.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't able to save Robert. So I think it would have been more interesting if Dom had been the one able to see the end of the movie.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think the movie's bad. Like I said, I remember really liking it when I watched it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. The creature's really scary because it's like a giant elk, but where its head should be is a human torso, but the human torso is headless and it has limbs for arms, but yet the elk body has arms and hands. It's a creepy looking thing.
And its spine is all like exposed, kind of.
Look it up.
It's
scary.
It's really cool monster design. Super cool monster design.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a good movie. Like I said, I watched it a few times just trying to get all the info so I would remember it because, yeah.
Other things I want to mention that I didn't like about the book. Adam Nevill, I'm addressing you directly right now. Why do you hate fat people and women? Can you explain that to me? There are so many nasty things said about Phil and Dom in this, like about how they're fat and useless, and how Sutra is fat and like it's horrible.
Really?
Yes.
That's awful. See, there was no fat people in this at all. They were all skinny people. Well, Dom was a little bit more stocky than the other guys, but nobody was an overweight person. I shouldn't even say fat. I'm a heavy girl, so.
I'm not even convinced that Dom and Phil were fat. I think maybe they just were a little bit overweight, but, like, I don't know if it was, like, a product of the times or, because it was 2011, right?
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean, there's still a huge stigma over overweight people. People still will say things, it's our fault that we're fat, it's whatever. And it can be. I mean, it definitely can be our own fault that we're overweight, but there's also lots of different diseases out there, thyroid disease, all sorts of things that can cause you to gain weight that you can't even help.
Yeah.
So, and I've always been a firm believer that you just don't make fun of someone for their physical attributes because who cares?
And you don't comment on it either.
No.
If it's not something that they can fix by just going into the bathroom real quick, then you don't need to be commenting on it. That's my rule of thumb. If it's, like, if they have food in their teeth, yeah, tell them about that.
Oh, yeah,
they can fix it.
That's one thing that's helping you. I don't want to be embarrassed because I have food in my teeth. But I don't want someone looking at me saying, oh, should you really eat that? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Don't cut me down because I'm a big girl. I know I'm a big girl. I get it. I don't necessarily want to be a big girl, but I am. And
yeah, but you've lost a bunch of weight.
I have. But not because somebody else wanted me to. Because I want to be healthier and live longer. So screw people. If you're happy, it's your body. And I'm all for health and fitness and living as long as you can. But you have to be happy with yourself. And I spent a lot of years being very self-conscious because of my weight. I always felt like I was the big girl in my friend group, and I was always the one that didn't have a boyfriend. And I'm digressing completely off of scary movies, but the weight thing, that's horrible that he talked about the only real woman besides the teeny tiny old lady and called her fat. Why?
Yeah. I mean, she was crazy.
Well, yeah, go ahead and say she's crazy.
But, yeah.
A lot of us women are crazy. We own that. But you don't have to describe a woman as fat and then to cut people down in it because they're heavy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't like that.
I kind of want to look up what Adam Nevill looks like real quick.
I hope he's a big dude.
And I hope
it's just like he's hating himself for some reason.
Ugly too.
I mean, I don't want him to hate himself. That sounded horrible, but
he looks like a
Oh.
He looks like Billy Corgan.
He does look like Billy Corgan.
He's a bald man.
He is a bald man.
He's bald. There is this other part in the book that literally was so visceral and it really grossed me out, which was on purpose, I'm assuming. At one point, Sutra it's before they put Luke on the cross. She's sitting on him so that they can tie him up, but she's like sitting on his face. And he talks about how he can smell.
Oh, gosh, no. Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I want to listen to. Read.
It was
nothing.
really traumatizing. It's like,
Yeah,
I get
rough.
and listen, I'm not... It's effective, okay? It was very, and it's something that you might notice in a situation like that, and it just kind of added to it being visceral and, like, being horrific and, like, all this stuff, but it's like, he described the smell as yogurty.
Oh.
Yogurt. And, like, sour yogurt, and I was just like, okay. Okay. All right. So, yeah, Adam Nevill, what's up with that? Can you... you can throw us an email. Maybe make your characters a little more likable also. Because I didn't really give a shit about what happened to anybody except Hutch.
Huh. And Hutch died soon.
He did. I mean, he was literally the first one out of the friend group.
Not in the movie. He was the second. They were all likable, though. All of them. They had good, likable qualities in the movie. I mean, typical friend group. You got the jock. You've got the kind of quiet guy. You got the guy that's kind of a coward and hiding. You've got the other guy that doesn't say nothing until he gets mad. So, yeah, it was kind of diverse there. So, then you got the dead friend. So there you go.
Yeah, every friend group needs a dead friend, right?
No. No.
So, this whole thing was interesting to me because I really liked the movie. But
you really liked the first part of the book,
and
too.
I really did like the first...
Even though you didn't like the characters.
Yeah, the first 70% of the book, super creepy, super atmospheric, very scary, easily 5 stars. But the back half of this book, 30%, literally made me detract 2 stars off of my review on my StoryGraph profile. Because I was like, wow, that was stupid.
Yeah, she gets in the car and she's like, so I don't want to know anything else, but is there a metal band in the movie? And I'm like, what? She said, okay, never mind. So
I said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
I had to tell Lauren. So you were on lunch, and I'm like, Lauren, because she was there for that kind of like,
Yeah.
I was like, Lauren, I have to tell you this. So I literally spoiled it for her, and she's like, I love that you're not telling Becky that until the episode. So yeah, that was.
I mean, obviously, I knew there was a metal band. I just didn't know it was going to be such a big part. I thought it would just be something stupid. That's crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that shift. That's a weird shift.
Yeah, and it's why I think the movie made smarter choices. Like, it makes sense for there to actually be like a cult.
Yeah.
Because there's a few people, right? Like, it's not just a couple of people.
No, there's quite a few people. There's a whole group of people. They're like outside watching the sacrifice.
Like more than 10, more than 20?
Probably less than 20, but definitely more than 10.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a whole little like village. So yeah. They bring people to sacrifice. And then they bring people that whoever the beast marks or whatever, that's the one that they anticipate to bow down and start following their God.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes away all your pain and lets you live forever and all that good stuff.
I mean, what's the bad part of it then?
You kill people.
Oh.
You literally have a whole bunch of mummified weird things
But,
that
like,
are still kind of alive in the upstairs.
But, like, only sometimes, though, right?
I guess when people wander into your woods. So.
Maybe you shouldn't trespass.
I don't know. It's a public woods. It wasn't
Is
owned.
it?
Well, no, apparently not. There you go.
Moral of the
Sydney
story.
says it's okay to just slaughter people, to sacrifice them so she can live forever. Don't be her friend. Don't do it.
I only have so many friends left.
I know. It's not going to be me. I'm out.
Moral of the story, kids, don't trespass.
Not in Sydney's woods.
I don't own any woods.
Just a pizza place. Well, she doesn't own that either.
Okay.
She lives there. Don't go into the pizza place. She'll sacrifice you to the pizza gods.
Shut up.
Now I know why James's Pizza is so good. They sacrifice.
That is a joke.
It is totally a joke.
That is good pizza, though.
It is really good pizza. No, best in the area, I will say that. And not because he's her boyfriend, but because he does make a good pizza. A really good stuffed cheesy breast. Except that sounded like stuffed cheesy breast. It's exactly what that sounded like.
Stay away from my boyfriend's titties.
I just like his sauce. Edit this all out.
All right. We'll talk about something next week.
We will. Something exciting and fun. And we'll turn the air on a little earlier so I'm not dying of heat exhaustion.
It's quite warm in here. It's quite warm. I am actually feeling a little sick. So let's wrap this up. Today the pod, tomorrow the world. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.